So imagine this scenario for a second.
Okay, I'm with you.
You are trapped on this grimy, off-the-books salvage station, right? And it's hidden inside a massive orbital debris field.
The kind of place where the air filtration is probably failing. Smells like burnt ozone and cheap machine oil.
Oh, absolutely. But worse, you are actively being hunted by these black armored operatives who will stop at nothing to put a high-yield laser through your chest.
Yeah, and you think you're just, a random fugitive who got dealt a terrible hand.
Right. But then you decode this stolen data drive, and the realization hits you. You aren't random at all.
Oh, wow.
A shadowy conspiracy hasn't just been tracking you, they've actually anticipated your exact existence.
A predictive algorithm calculated your arrival at this very station at this exact moment, like years before you were even born.
Welcome to today's deep dive. We are breaking down Session 2 of the Vault Hunters Spinward Marches tabletop campaign.
Played in the Mongoose Traveler 2nd Edition system, right?
It's exactly. We are talking high-stakes investigation, deep space conspiracies, and what the table brilliantly refers to as anime energy.
I love that phrase. Anime energy crashing headfirst into a very grounded, lethal rule system.
It's so good. So for those following along, our crew just barely survived a harrowing escape from the Joule system in a stolen Imperial shuttle.
Yeah, they did not get out unscathed.
No, they didn't. Their mechanic, Milt, took a nasty blaster hit and is quite literally holding his insides in.
Ouch.
Right. So they managed to limp the shuttle to Gravesend, which is this lawless salvage station parked at a Lagrange point.
Which, tactically speaking, is a brilliant move by the crew.
It really is.
Because in the Traveler universe, Lagrange points are gravity-neutral zones. It's where space debris naturally accumulates over centuries.
Right, so you've got all that floating junk.
Exactly. The sensor interference from thousands of tons of floating or radiated junk makes it just a nightmare for anyone trying to track a damaged shuttle.
And Gravesend itself isn't so much a station as it is, like a haphazard amalgamation of welded-together scrap metal.
Yeah, broken ship hulls, random modules. It's a low-law environment.
Let's talk about that low-law environment, actually, because the way the Game Master paints Gravesend really sets the tone for the survival mechanics here.
It definitely does.
It's one of those frontier outposts where everyone notices the new crew arriving in a stolen military shuttle, but self-preservation dictates you just keep your mouth shut.
Yeah, you don't ask questions. Like when they meet Haru, the dockmaster.
Oh, Haru. He charges them 25 credits for docking, completely ignores their lack of clearance codes, and basically just tells them not to bleed on his deck.
Haru is the perfect embodiment of Traveler's law-level mechanics in action.
Well, how so?
Well, in a high-law system, an unregistered ship with bleeding crew members, that triggers a massive police response.
Oh, instantly.
But in a low-law salvage yard, currency and minding your own business are literally the only two laws that matter. So the Game Master uses Haru to signal to the players that they're safe from local authorities, but they are completely unprotected if whoever shot Milt comes looking for them.
Yeah, they're on their own. So knowing they have this very narrow window, the crew splits up to resupply.
Smart.
They hit a spot called the Patch Line, where a vendor named Tessa Coyle sells them heavy-duty repair tools and maglock overrides.
Essential gear.
Totally. Then they visit the rag market for vac suits and some dispersion armor to upgrade their survivability.
Guess they're gonna need it?
Oh, yeah. And meanwhile, Milt is tossed into a local auto dock.
Just patching himself up.
Exactly. And while they're navigating these gritty markets, they hear a rumor at the cantina from someone named Old Neris.
The missing salvagers.
Right. A spooky string of salvagers vanishing without a trace in a specific dense part of the local debris field.
And that rumor acts as a really important narrative anchor.
I was thinking the same thing. It's a sandbox game, right?
Exactly. In a sandbox game like Traveler, players can theoretically go anywhere. Dropping a localized mystery about disappearing salvagers gives the crew a subtle perimeter.
It tells them there's a localized threat nearby that even the hardened locals won't mess with.
Right. It's the GM saying, maybe avoid this area unless you're ready for trouble.
But the real pivot of this session, the massive turning point, happens back at the autodock.
Yeah, while Milt is recovering.
Leo, the intelligence operative, decides to activate that encrypted data cube they stole back on Joule.
Such a risky move.
It is. The cube lights up and displays a localized signal readout detailing a 4-vector convergence.
This part is so good.
And the terrifying part is these vectors map perfectly to the crew's highly specific background files.
Yeah, down to the letter.
Vector 1 is a scout service number, which matches Rookie. Vector 2 is a civilian trader mapping to Milt,
Vector 3 requires a noble access key.
linking directly to Sakura. And Vector 4 is a lab clearance tag.
This is where the campaign transitions from, a gritty survival story to a high-concept sci-fi thriller.
It really pulls the rug out from under you.
Because the data cube isn't just a static file. It's an active predictive model created by this shadow organization known as Panopticon.
Right?
When players roll up their characters in Traveler, they spend a lot of time generating detailed backgrounds and previous career terms.
Yeah, the character creation is notoriously detailed.
Exactly. So the Game Master took those disparate random background elements and literally wove them into an in-game algorithm.
I have to pause on that because as a player, how do you even process that?
It's wild.
I mean, think about getting a hyper-targeted ad on your phone.
Yeah, always creepy.
Right. But instead of trying to sell you shoes, this ad reveals that a massive government conspiracy knows your exact destiny.
Yeah, it knows where you are and why you're there.
Like, how did that change the player's mindset to realize they aren't just running away, but they're the focal point of a grand design?
Well, the question is, does this risk making the players feel railroaded?
Yeah, if an algorithm predicted their arrival, doesn't that strip away their agency?
It's a delicate balance, but it actually amplifies player agency, if handled correctly.
How so?
Because the algorithm didn't predict their choices, it predicted their convergence.
Yeah.
It recognized that bringing these 4 specific variables together in a high-stress environment would trigger a specific outcome.
So it shifts the crew from being reactive fugitives to proactive puzzle pieces.
Exactly. They realized that to survive, they need to understand the algorithm better than the people who wrote it.
And that detail about Leo makes it even more intense.
Oh, Leo status.
Yeah, the readout lists Leo as a non-vector. Cluster role catalyst.
Such a chilling detail.
He isn't one of the 4 main pillars, he's the wild card. He's the chemical catalyst, introduced to the mixture to force the reaction.
Which is brilliant psychological pressure by the GM. It isolates Leo slightly from the rest of the group while simultaneously making him the linchpin of the group's current crisis.
But they don't get much time for an existential crisis, because the data cube signal is a two-way street.
Yeah, it's receiving data, but it's also broadcasting.
And it leads the black armored operatives from Jewel right to Gravesend.
The Men in Black.
Yep. And the timing here is critical because the crew is split up.
Right, they're all over the station.
Rookie, the scout veteran, is alone on the stolen shuttle, working on getting the sensors back online.
Just trying to fix the ship.
And suddenly, he hears the high-pitched whine of industrial cutting tools biting into the outer airlock.
Terrifying.
The operatives have physically bypassed the station's security and are sawing their way into his ship.
Let's talk about the mechanics of Traveler combat for a moment, because it explains why what happens next is so significant.
Please do.
Combat in this system is notoriously lethal. It isn't like other games where you have a massive pool of hit points.
Yeah, you can't just absorb dozens of laser blasts.
No, a single hit from a heavy weapon can cripple or kill a character instantly. And Rookie is alone, unarmored, and facing a breaching squad of highly trained operatives in confined quarters.
Tactically, a firefight is a death sentence.
100%.
So Rookie decides to throw the tactical manual out the airlock, literally.
Yeah, he does.
He scrambles into a vac suit, jumps into the pilot's seat, and manually overrides the safety protocols.
It's an insane split-second decision.
He deliberately blows the airlock doors wide open while the operatives are cutting through, demagnetizes the shuttle's docking clamps, and slams the thrusters into full reverse.
It's an incredibly dangerous maneuver. He leverages the physics of explosive decompression.
He weaponizes the vacuum of space.
Yes.
The sudden depressurization violently sucks 2 of the black armored attackers out of the airlock and into the void.
But he doesn't stop there.
No, because he threw the ship into reverse, he physically rams the rear of the shuttle into the station's heavy bulkhead.
Just squishing them.
Literally crushing the operatives between his ship's hull and the station's reinforced metal.
This is exactly what the table meant by anime energy.
Right. I mean, you can't program a move like crush the enemy with the entire spaceship in a vacuum into a video game.
No, you can't. And notice how it's grounded in the physical reality of the game world.
Yeah, it makes sense within the physics.
In a lot of tabletop systems, a game master might block a move like this, forcing the player to just roll standard attack dice.
Right. They'd say, no, you have to shoot them.
But here, the GM allows Rookie to spend his accumulated luck points to attempt this desperate vehicle maneuver, rewarding his ingenuity.
Rookie uses the environment and orbital mechanics to bypass an unwinnable firefight.
Exactly.
Well, the noise of a shuttle ramming a bulkhead obviously alerts the rest of the crew in the market.
Oh, yeah, they definitely heard that.
They rush back to the docks, and absolute chaos breaks out. Sakura, who is built as a high society noble, completely breaks type.
She goes all in.
She sprints into melee range, physically grapples one of the remaining heavy-armored operatives, and yanks a heavy laser rifle right out of his hands.
Such a great visual.
While Leo drops into cover and starts laying down suppression fire, they even manage to hack and capture a Black Ops drone during the skirmish.
It's a massive adrenaline-fueled victory.
It really is. But the cost of that victory becomes apparent the second the smoke clears.
The victory is very short-lived.
Yeah, the moment they catch their breath, Rookie's newly repaired sensors start blaring. They receive a delayed, encrypted alert from the Joule system.
The bad news.
Very bad. Their original ships, the ones they had to abandon to make this escape, have suffered catastrophic hull breaches.
Gone.
The operatives didn't just track them, they systematically destroyed everything the crew left behind.
And worse, the sensors pick up a massive Imperial naval task force dropping out of hyperspace.
Closing in right on Gravesend.
The noose is tightening. They are completely boxed in.
Yeah, their old lives are ashes, their current stolen shuttle is wedged into a bulkhead, and structurally compromised from the ramming maneuver.
And an Imperial fleet is minutes away from locking down the entire Lagrange point.
Put yourself in that situation. What is the play here? You have zero good options. So the crew makes a wildly desperate call. They abandon their damaged shuttle and hijack the operative's Black Ops stealth ship.
Which is pretty clever.
And when they access the nav computer, they find the exact coordinates of the local Panopticon signal the data cube was receiving.
The one from the graveyard.
Right. With the Imperial Navy literally burning toward them, they punch the throttle and fly the stolen stealth ship directly into the densest part of the ship graveyard.
Straight toward whatever is emitting that signal.
The pacing shift here is masterful.
Oh, absolutely. We go from explosive, high-decibel vehicle combat to absolute, terrifying silence.
They power down every non-essential system on the stealth ship. Life support drops to a minimum.
Just drifting silently through the dark.
Yeah, through the jagged ruins of the debris field, terrified of waking up whatever local horror killed all those missing salvagers.
So spooky.
And deep in the center of the wreckage, moored to a hollowed-out asteroid, they find it.
The asteroid.
It is an immaculate, fully intact Tech Level 12 response corvette.
We need to contextualize Tech Level 12 or TL12 for a moment.
Yeah, explain how rare this is.
In the Spinward marches, the average tech level is usually around 9 or 10. Finding a TL-12 Corvette hidden in a scrapyard is like finding a fully functional, state-of-the-art stealth bomber buried under a pile of rusted bicycles.
That's a great analogy.
It implies advanced sensor suites, superior jump range, and automation that borders on artificial intelligence.
And that automation immediately makes its presence known.
Oh, yeah, it does.
As they drift closer, the Estrella automatically interfaces with their comms. It doesn't ask for passcodes. It simply broadcasts a greeting, identifying the crew as a convergence node.
And it silently opens its hangar doors, just inviting them inside.
It's an incredibly eerie setup. The system was quite literally waiting for them.
Which is terrifying when you think about it.
So they land the stealth ship and step out into the pristine corridors of the Estrella. The ship's internal lights flicker on sequentially, physically guiding them down toward the engineering deck.
Drawing them in.
Yeah. And Milt, the mechanic, immediately notices the jump drive fuel systems. They use cryogenic fuel, and the lines are defrosting at a rapid, almost impossible rate.
The ship is waking itself up for a hyperspace jump just because they walked on board.
Exactly. They follow the lights further in and find a cryovault.
These are low berths, which the Traveler universe uses for long-term stasis during deep space transit.
Or in this case, hiding assets for decades.
Right.
Most of the pods are dark, but Pod 6 has an error log blinking on its display.
The mystery deepens.
It reads, "Manual interruption detected," followed by a redacted sub-command signature.
Someone pulled the occupant of Pod 6 out of stasis early.
Right, but right next to it, Pod 1 begins its automated revival cycle. The glass hisses open, and out steps a man in a pristine uniform. Commander Hale,
an Imperial officer who went into the ice 30 years ago.
Now, I have to challenge the standard read on this situation because it's kind of like waking up Captain America, right? But with a twist.
A huge twist.
Varric wakes up. The last thing he remembers is receiving orders from Panopticon 30 years ago. He expects a formal, highly structured military recovery team to wake him up for a specific mission.
Instead, he opens his eyes to a bunch of heavily armed, blood-spattered fugitives pointing guns at him in a scrapyard.
Exactly. It's easy to say he acts like a disciplined company man here, but is it just discipline? Or is this pure survival instinct?
That's a really sharp observation. When you look at the table dynamics, it is absolutely survival instinct masked by military training.
Because he's so out of his element.
Varric is wildly out of his depth. He assesses the room, sees weapons drawn, and realizes the chain of command he went to sleep under is just gone.
Yes, Sakura literally keeps her heavy laser rifle trained right on his chest. The tension is thick enough to cut with a knife.
Oh, I bet.
And then Milt, who, remember, survived a gunshot wound just a few hours ago, decides to break the ice by casually mentioning, yeah, I actually just defected from Panopticon.
And Varric's stoic military facade just completely shatters.
It has to.
From Varric's perspective, the algorithm was supposed to be flawless. Milt, a designated vector, is not supposed to possess the self-awareness to know he's part of the system, let alone casually defect from it.
Right, he's a cog in the machine.
Exactly. Milt's existence as a rogue variable proves to Varric that the 30-year plan has gone catastrophically wrong.
So they forge this incredibly tense, uneasy alliance. The crew desperately needs a pilot who understands a TL-12 ship to escape the incoming Imperial Navy.
And Varric desperately needs this crew to help him figure out why his ship is empty, who opened Pod 6, and why he is 30 years out of date.
But they have zero time to debrief. Because the moment Varric steps onto the bridge and initiates the primary power sequence, the Estrella lights up on local scanners.
Yes, stealth is gone.
Varric powers up the holographic bridge controls, the ship unmoors from the asteroid, and a 1,500-ton Imperial naval missile boat drops directly into their path,
blocking the only exit from the debris field.
The Navy tracked the Black Ops shuttle they stole.
And this naval vessel is not there to make arrests.
No. The transmission the Navy sends is chilling. They ping the Estrella's transponder and broadcast, "You are not cleared for activation. You are not required. You are defunct. Return to standby mode or be destroyed."
Oh, defunct.
Wait. Help me understand the logic of this enemy here. Why would the Empire, or whatever faction is currently running Panopticon, want to blow up their own highly advanced, perfectly functional stealth corvette?
I know, it seems like a massive waste of resources, right?
Yeah. It's an amazing ship.
It seems illogical until you understand the concept of a denial protocol.
A denial protocol?
Yeah, it's deeply rooted in organizational paranoia. The current administration running Panopticon clearly did not authorize this convergence.
Okay, so it's a rogue event.
Right. The Estrella and Commander Varric are legacy assets tied to an old version of the predictive model.
Oh, I see.
If an experimental variable activates outside of the current administration's control, you don't study it. You scrub it.
Wow.
It's cold mathematical efficiency. You destroy the multi-billion credit ship to ensure the 30-year-old secret stays buried.
Well, Commander Varric refuses to be scrubbed.
Good for him.
He starts screaming over the comms, demanding a superior officer, refusing to stand down. And the missile boat responds by opening its missile bays and unloading on them.
Which triggers one of the most mechanically tense space combats you can run in this system.
It is a complete scramble. Varric is at the helm, throwing this ancient advanced corvette into evasive maneuvers through the asteroid field.
Just dodging rocks.
Milt sprints down into the engineering basement, desperately rolling engineering checks to route power from the rapidly defrosting cryogenic fuel into the jump drive.
If he fails, they are sitting ducks.
Exactly. And on the bridge, the rest of the crew has to figure out how to use holographic TL-12 controls they've never seen before to manually fire the Estrella's pulse lasers.
Because Traveler handles missile combat in distinct phases.
Right. It's not just a single roll.
No. The enemy launches the missiles travel the distance, and the defending crew has a brief, terrifying window to use point defense lasers to manually shoot them down before impact.
And the Navy doesn't just fire one or two. They launch a massive barrage of 14 or 15 missiles at once.
That's overwhelming force.
Leo and Sakura are rolling gunnery checks, sweating through their armor, manually picking off these incoming warheads, one by one in the blackness of space.
Every single dice roll at the table is the difference between life and explosive death.
This is where that tech level 12 advantage literally saves the campaign.
For sure. If they were in a standard TL-9 ship, their targeting computers couldn't process the incoming threats fast enough.
So the ship is basically helping them.
Right. The advanced holographic systems give Sakura and Leo just enough of a mechanical edge to track the targets.
They swat the last few missiles out of the sky mere seconds before impact. Just as the final explosion rocks the hull, Milt screams over the comms that the jump drive is fully spooled.
Perfect timing.
Varric punches the coordinates into the nav computer, the Estrella tears a massive hole in the fabric of space, and they jump into hyperspace, leaving the Imperial missile boat firing blindly into the vacuum.
It is the ultimate great escape.
It really is.
But when the adrenaline fades, you have to look at the board and realize how precarious their position actually is.
Let's summarize exactly what this cliffhanger leaves us with.
Yeah.
Over the course of a few frantic hours, this crew has lost their original ships and everything they owned.
Everything.
They are now actively hunted by the Imperial Navy and a shadow conspiracy that has predicted their every move.
Right.
They are trapped in a hyperspace tunnel aboard a highly advanced, mysterious corvette. And their only guide is a 30-year out-of-date military commander who technically still answers to the very people trying to scrub them from existence.
They survived the immediate threat, but they have completely untethered themselves from whatever lives they knew yesterday.
The maze just got infinitely more complicated.
It really did.
It brings us right back to the feeling at the very beginning of the deep dive, that grimy space station, the feeling of being hunted, the paranoia of the algorithm.
Yeah.
The crew thought hijacking the Estrella and jumping to hyperspace was their ultimate act of defiance, their way of breaking the rules and going off script.
But are they off script?
That's exactly it. I want to leave you with this final provocative thought to mull over.
Let's hear it.
If the Panopticon predictive model was accurate enough to anticipate this exact convergence of people, if it knew their specific backgrounds, their trauma, and their exact behavioral tendencies, could it have also predicted the Empire's betrayal? When the crew shot their way out of Gravesend and stole the Corvette, did they actually escape the algorithm? Or is their desperate rebellion just the mathematically predetermined next step of a 30-year-old script?
That is a terrifying thought.
When you think you've finally outsmarted the maze, sometimes all you've really done is find the door to the next level. Until next time, keep questioning the narrative.